I like the details in the ear. And it must be detailed, right? Because the ears are visible now, unlike with the half scale, where it's covered by her hair. I love the creasing at the knees, elbows here, elbows here. She has some of it at the underarm. I feel like they did in fact nail the fingernails. If you've ever seen a close-up of gals' hands, you'll know what I'm talking about. I love the portrait. If I can see the resemblance, then I'm content. You know, we could get into the same discussion about the Wonder Woman maquette by Tweeterhead. I mean, does it look like Linda Carter or not? I think it's beautiful. Or any other 1/3 scale piece by Prime One. I'm partial to the face sculpt on the half scale, maybe because I've had it longer. However, now that I own the training armor statue, I can't see owning one without the other. So people have pointed out a less than favorable paint application. So before I received the statue myself, I thought there would be some blur or blotchiness, some overlap with the paint, but I really like the paint on mine. Like, I think it's fine. I like the differing eye levels. So the half scale statue, she's looking, I want to say, a little more downwards than this one. This one, she's looking more up or more straight at you. So, you know, this does differ from the half scale portrait. And as I said, I am partial to that half scale portrait. And, you know, with the half scale piece as well, there are people that don't like that face sculpt. So if you've spent any time in or around the customer service industry, you will know that it is nearly impossible to satisfy everyone. I'm very happy with this piece. I got $100 off, and that was from the previously purchased half scale. And I would have paid much more for her. I would have paid half scale price for her. I mean, you really can't put a price tag on something that you love and that makes your heart skip a beat. You know, can it be improved? I'm sure most things in life can be. I mean, it could be a lot worse too. Right? I think it's beautiful. So in speaking of myself personally, and this is not a criticism on anyone else, this is just speaking of myself, I would like to think that I'm very easy to please. Okay, I'm very low maintenance. And this goes back before I was collecting, even back to my childhood. For Christmas, my mom would wrap up canned goods, Vienna sausage, pork and beans. She would wrap up a 6-pack of soda. And I just remember being so excited because the box was so heavy, right? And, you know, she did the best that she could, and I learned to appreciate that. It's a very serious look, I'll say that. And I could interpret that as a determination to prove herself, as we saw in the Themyscira scenes in the movie, which is very fitting of this piece, of course. So the irony I see in that is she was very strong-willed, confident and determined, and yet at the same time she didn't know the magnitude of her power, right? And I think that says a lot. I mean, sometimes just having that belief in yourself is half the battle. An area of Themyscira that's missing from this piece is the infirmary, where we saw Steve in the pool with the glowing water, right, from the photon element. Perhaps it's an unnecessary element for this piece, but two of my favorite scenes. One is when she was sitting down, having her arm checked. We see that the wound is gone, right? And the nurse asks her, is it true that she saved his life? She says, who told you that? I just loved her response to that. But the second scene that I love is when Steve's out of the pool, right? And he Diana says she wants to go with him, but her mother won't allow it. And Steve replies, I can't say that I blame her. The way this war is going, I wouldn't want to let anyone I care about near it. And she said, then why do you want to go, or why do you want to go back? And then I love his response. He says, I don't think want is the word. And that cracks me up every time, all 5 times in the theaters, and every time I watch the movie today. So going back to the initial comments for this piece on social media after the reveal, 2 comments I remember were, 1, the pose being boring, and the second comment I remember was that the forehead area was too big. So regarding the boring pose, I'm not sure if there was an understanding at that time of a museum pose versus an action pose. My interpretation of this piece is it's a museum pose, like the half-scale statue. So in my eyes and in my mind, a museum pose has an element of unpredictability in it, which I love. I mean, she's standing there ready to strike, and she could be about to do anything. And you could also interpret this as being a defensive or offensive pose. So regarding the large forehead, I can run this side shot of Gal. I mean, I think it's fine. I want to check something for another collector. I checked the base, I shook it a little bit. I didn't hear any rattling inside, as another collector experienced. I believe that was Jesse. And then there was another collector, Damien, who had the upper and lower body moving a little. So I mean, it's very, very minimal. There is a tiny bit of movement, but it's very minimal. Okay, so what I like about her being in this outfit is it's a nod to the other Amazons, her sisters, right? That share similar golden brown colored armor. I mean, something to me that I feel connects her to them and to Themyscira. I mean, when I look at her in this armor, I immediately think Themyscira, which I love because we all remember how incredible the island looked in the movie, and it wasn't long before she ventured out, because who would she have been if she stayed, right? Love that line in Gal. Very emotional. Gal delivered it beautifully. What I like about the training armor is, despite the fact that she only wore it in the beginning of the movie, I mean, we saw her wearing it in many different locations of Themyscira, from the armory down to the shores of the beach, and I think she was just as confident in this armor as she was in the full Wonder Woman outfit, or the hero armor. So getting a little deeper here, you know, what makes this piece sentimental and a must-have for me is this piece signifies her origin story, and there will never again be an origin story with Gal as Wonder Woman. And it doesn't matter how good Wonder Woman 84 is, or how good the third and last film will be. Yeah, I'm sure they'll be great. This for me is symbolic and unique of how she came to be, and of Gal as Wonder Woman. You know, and as another collector pointed out, I think it was Lee, and I echo this sentiment, you know, to the letter, is that we probably won't see her wearing this outfit again. I don't think she'll be in this outfit unless it's some kind of flashback. So this is very sentimental for me, and it's a must-have, period. You know, what I could take this opportunity to say about Wonder Woman 3 is some things I've heard about it, and that is that it will be a contemporary story. So not another period piece like the first film, 1918, or the second film, 84. The third is supposed to be a contemporary, modern day piece. And Patty may or may not be directing it. But in any case, we'll have creative input in the film. This statement was made by Patty herself last year, I believe. So let's hope she does in fact work very closely with that, and of course hopefully we'll see Gal again in another Justice League film. people on the boat are cheering for her. I don't blame you guys. I'll put them back in a box and we're just leaving already.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
You gonna be selling these or something?
No, they're mine.
Thank you.
Yep, yep. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna.
Thanks, good, brother.
Thanks, guys. Alright guys, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the statue. I leave you now with a few words from Gal. And I'll see you around the holidays. Thanks again.
Hey you guys, it's me, it's Gal. I just wanted to take a moment and thank you. Thank you for making this weekend the most amazing weekend and craziest weekend I've ever had in my life. I mean, you made this movie what it is, and your love and support for this character and for myself are not to be taken for granted. I mean, Wonder Woman #1 movie in the whole world. This is all you. So a big thank you. I'm sending you guys all the good energy and love back.